How y'all doing today? How y'all doing today? Welcome back to the Count It All Joy podcast with your boy Will, and I'm back on another episode today. And today, most of y'all listen on the audio, but I got a beanie on. It's kind of cold. I'm in my room, but I guess it's more so just visual aesthetic, I guess. Anyway, today I know it's been a minute. It feels like it's been a while. Every time I end up not uh, every time every time I end up missing a week, it feels like a while. So, which I guess it is. It's about 2 weeks or about 13, 14 days. So I guess that makes sense. Um, anyway, I hope you guys have been doing well. I hope you guys have been safe, staying warm, especially with all this weather. I don't know where some of y'all are from, where you're listening. You guys might be with weather that is always cold, or maybe you guys don't get any type of snow. But over the past couple weeks, so I'm from Georgia and I live in Georgia and I go to school in Georgia. So it's been inclement weather as far as um, like ice storms, snowstorms, not snowstorms, but it's been like freeze warnings and stuff like that. But it snowed I think last week, and then I think it snowed the other day as well, a couple days ago. Um, the power was out on my campus as well. The Wi-Fi was out, so well, I think we had class canceled like 2 or 3 days. So it's been a bunch of stuff like that. So it's been a long couple weeks, I can say. So yeah, last week it was hard to get one out because of all that stuff happening. And then by the time I was able to actually record, I just had some other stuff going on. So, but yeah, I'm back. I actually finally just made it back to my room. I haven't been in my room in like 3, 4 days. We're on a road trip. I think our last road trip of the year. So that's kind of bittersweet, but um, yeah, we finally got back today. So that's why I couldn't release last week or anything like that. And I'm still trying to get everything going. I have assignments that I need to do, but I wanted to get this in before it was a little bit too late. But yeah, this episode isn't gonna be as long. I just wanted to talk about a couple things, two different topics that uh, kind of conversations that I've had, conversations slash situations that I've been in over the past, I guess, I don't know, a few weeks. One more like most recently, and then another one that's pretty recent as well, as far as the conversation. But first, I want to talk about uh, it stems it's derived from a conversation with my best friend, dude that I've my homeboy Austin, who's been on the pod. He obviously I'm if you guys haven't listened, I go listen to that. But um yeah, we're having a conversation about something. I've been going through a lot of stuff, and I was just asking him like his opinion and just talking to him about it, like venting basically. And I was kind of saying I'm just confused a little bit. Like, I don't know what God's trying to tell me. Like I just don't understand it. And I'm telling him, I mean, I know God's telling me, like, you know, move forward in faith and do this and do that. As far as that, like, just trust Him. But like, I'm telling him, like, I don't understand, uh, like what else He's like vividly saying. And then basically he was like, bro, like, what are you talking about? Like, why are you trying to get uh 2 plus 2 equals 5 when 2 plus 2 equals 4? Like you already know it. Like why are you trying to the answer is right there. Like why are you even trying to get more into it? And that's just like a glimpse of what we were talking about. But I just wanted to give just a again a part of it of what we were talking about. Um but the overarching thing that I wanted to talk about was truth over feelings, and especially with friends and people close to you, like how important it is to value the truth and honesty over coddling feelings, or just wanting to wanting people to tell you what you want to hear instead of what you need to hear. And there's a difference, and that's what true friends are for. And going back to Austin, I'll brag about him. That's my guy. He I found out that was my brother for real a long time ago. I'll tell this quick story, but and I think I told this before on the podcast with him. So if y'all haven't listened to that, go listen to that. Um, Anyway, he was like, he told me something happened. I always used to get in trouble back in the day. I was always getting in trouble for something, talking too much or doing something goofy, standing up on the table, just little stuff, immature stuff as a little kid. Anyway, I got in trouble for something, and my mom used to teach at the private school that I grew up going to, and this man, I got in trouble, and my mom knows Austin is honest, so she asked him, she's like, Austin, what happened? Like, did Will do this? And I'm thinking, okay, my homeboy, you feel me? He gonna say, he gonna lie for me. Like, that's my guy, that's my brother, so he gonna lie for me. He said, no, man, William did this, blah, 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 he did this. And I'm like, oh, you snitching on me like that? And I was ticked off. I'm like, that ain't my dog, man. Like, forget you. How you gonna like that's what you on? And then my mom, I remember we got home, I got in trouble, got spanking and all that, and she was like, Austin, that's your real friend. I'm sure he didn't want to he didn't want to say you did it, but he doesn't want you to do it again, so he told the truth and he blah blah blah. And at that point I was like, I wasn't really trying to hear it. But once I was like, I wasn't mad anymore and the spanking wore off, I kind of sat back and thought about it. I was like, man, that is my brother. Like what I did was probably kind of crazy. So he was like, look, bro, I don't want you to think you could get away with that and just do that over and over. So if you gotta get in trouble for this, get a little spanking for this, then it's better in the grand scheme of things. And that's just how he's been our whole friendship. You feel me? Like he's just always kept it a buck 50 with me, and vice versa. But we bragging on him right now, so he's always kept it 100 with me and always told me what not just what I want to hear. And sometimes what I want to hear is what I need to hear. Sometimes that coincides, but sometimes I might want to hear something else that technically I don't really need to hear. Like or the that's technically sometimes sometimes the stuff we want to hear isn't what we ultimately need to hear. Sometimes. And but he's always telling me what I need to hear and giving me the truth. So that's kind of what I want to talk about first. Just having people around you that uh keep it a buck 50 with you, like tell you the truth over your feelings. Tell you the truth over trying to coddle your feelings and just tell you what you want to hear. Now I think there's a balance between it. Cause I have friends who, and I'm not great at this sometimes, cause I always try to keep it. I always try to just say what it is. I don't try to sugarcoat stuff with my friends. Sometimes I sugarcoat things with, and I still tell them what I feel like they need to hear. But it's a little bit more sugarcoating with people who I'm not as close with because some people they don't take it well and other things get in the way and they're not really hearing you. So I don't really want to waste my breath when it comes to that. But I'll tell the truth, but I won't go as in depth like I would with a friend who I know they're thinking. And even if I know they don't want to hear it, I know they're gonna eventually, be a little bit receptive to it. So when it comes to friends and people who are close to you and people you could trust, you want to be able to tell them what they need to hear. Like when they're doing stuff wrong, when they're not doing what they need to do, like, no, bro, you're tripping. Like, I don't like, no, you're wilding. Like, I don't agree with that. And they can agree or disagree with you, but telling them that instead of just, oh, okay, yeah, I guess. Like that stuff, it doesn't help them in the long run. And you're just as responsible for their growth as they are. Obviously, naturally, they're more responsible because it's their decisions and it's their development. But as somebody who's their friend and their confidant maybe and somebody who they depend on, you're responsible as well for their development and growth and maturation. So when you don't tell them the truth and let them know when they're in the wrong and let them know um, when they're not doing what they need to do, then you're not doing what you need to do. You need to let them know when they are and when they aren't. Um, this is a quote that my mom's gonna cringe because she doesn't really like Shannon Sharp because of other stuff he does. But I like Shannon Sharp. I've been watching him since Undisputed when he was with Skip Bayless. I downloaded the Fox Sports app just to watch that show. Like I was watching the 2.5 hour show every day, like from start to finish. So I'm a Shannon Sharp fan. I obviously watch his show Nightcap with Chad Ochocinco now. That's not the point. But this is where the quote came from. This is not where it came from, but this is um where I heard it most recently, and that's why I'm putting it into this. But he said, I'd rather you slap me with the truth than kiss me with a lie. I've had that in my notes for a while. It's been in there for maybe a couple years now. I was just scrolling through my notes and I saw it. But yeah, I'd rather you slap me with the truth than kiss me with a lie. Now I know that's more of a facetious comment, I guess, or a facetious statement, but excuse me. It's the truth though. And that's kind of what I live by. And all the people closest to me, I let it be known that I want, like, tell me when I'm tripping, tell me when I'm wilding, and let me know when, you know, I'm not doing what I need to do. Because sometimes we get in our own way. Sometimes, especially, I know I'm an emotional person, and not emotional to the point where I'm not controlling myself, but sometimes where it's like I might not see exactly what I'm doing in the moment. I might be dogmatic in the moment, and sometimes you can't detect it right then and there. So you might need your brother, your sister, whoever. And I'm talking figuratively, but it can also be your actual brother and sister blood. But you need them to tell you, hey, you're tripping right now, bro. Like, listen to what I'm saying. And so that's why I like that quote as well. It's more of a joking type of quote, but it's the truth. I'd rather you slap me with the truth than, kiss me with a lie. And that quote, it reminds me of the verse. It's Proverbs 27, and then verses 5 through 6. It says, better is open rebuke than hidden love. Wounds from a friend can be trusted, but an enemy multiplies kisses. So basically, it's saying, like, you'd rather your friend tell you something you don't really want to hear. Like, your friend, rebuking is maybe it has a certain connotation in today's time, but uh it's basically saying like your friends, or it doesn't have to be specifically a friend, but when somebody, but I guess they're talking, technically talking about friends right here, but when it's saying that it's better for, somebody close to you or a friend, somebody you could trust, to give you that criticism, give you that constructive criticism, tell you when you're not doing what you need to do. That is better than somebody who actually doesn't have your best interests at heart calling you and telling you, "Oh, you're fine. You're so great, and you'll be okay. Like it doesn't matter. Like yeah, well they did this to you, so that's fine. Like you have to get your revenge. Like that stuff isn't okay, and that's where this comes from. Better is open rebuke than hidden love. Wounds from a friend can be trusted, but an enemy multiplies kisses. So it could be somebody against you that doesn't actually want to see you succeed, but they're telling you these things and letting you continue to do the bad behavior that you're not supposed to do, because they don't truly care about you. But the people that truly care about you want to see you win. They will recognize the things that everybody has flaws. So they'll recognize your weaknesses and strengths, and they'll be there to pick them up and also let you know when you know, when those strengths or weaknesses are being prevalent in the situation, whatever situation that is, whatever circumstance. So that phrase where it says, "I'd rather you slap me with the truth than kiss me with a lie," it reminds me of that verse, because it literally says, an enemy multiplies kisses, but wounds from a friend can be trusted. So it might hurt in a moment, and it's just funny how it, like, the Bible speaks sometimes. Like, wounds from a friend can be trusted, and it's describing it as wounds because a lot of times I know I get defensive a lot. I'll keep it, but I don't really, and I don't know why it's like this. Well, I know it's why it's like this, but I can take any type of trash talk, any type of just malicious talk, anything like that from people that aren't close to me. So if I'm playing a game, people are saying all this crazy stuff, saying whatever they are, people in the stands, like just saying whatever, like that stuff doesn't bother me. It goes one ear after the other. Same thing with an opponent. They can say whatever. That stuff does not bother me. Even teammates, that stuff doesn't bother me. Classmates, whatever. Teachers, none of that stuff bothers me. The stuff that really hurts sometimes is when it comes from somebody close to me. Cause then sometimes it feels like they're coming at me. And really it's not that. They just want the best for me, and they want to see me do great, and they're just telling me how they see it from. Sorry, they're just telling me how they see it. They're telling me how they see it from their point of view, and I can agree with it or I can disagree with it. But if that's truly your friend, that's truly somebody you can trust, and you know they have your best interest at heart, it's no reason to be defensive. But I know that a lot of times, like even in relationships, it's easy to get defensive with your significant other, where it's like they'll say something and they're like, blah blah blah, you're doing this. And you like, bro, what are you talking about? Well, you do this. Like you and it's just sometimes it gets like that, and that's not the proper response. But it's just funny how that verse it kind of it just makes sense because wounds from a friend can't like wounds from a friend. That part in itself is like, man, they do feel like that hurts the most for me personally. Now, sometimes other people can feel different, but for me, I know it hurts the worst when it's coming from somebody who you love the most and trust and respect a lot. Uh, the constructive criticism and sometimes it just feels like criticism. That stuff hurts the worst, but that's the stuff that we actually need to really be receptive to and fully soak in and um, internalize what they're saying. Um, so moving on from that's kind of what I want to talk about for that. Um, Again, that part, truth over feelings, right? Making sure we're prioritizing honesty and what we need to hear rather than what we want to hear. And I think we've all been there where we kind of get defensive with certain things and we might let pride get in the way and stuff like that. But just being cognizant and aware of when we're doing that, but then also having friends around us so when that are aware of that as well. So when we're not able to recognize it and detect it immediately, they're there for us to do that. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about with that. So moving on from that situation or that conversation, because it stemmed from a conversation, I want to talk about emotions and how emotions and our actions need to work together. Um, I'm gonna give an example. I'll paint a scenario for you guys, and it's still kind of raw right now. Pause, cause it just happened last night, and I haven't I haven't gone back to watch it yet. Um, cause it hurts. Pause, and I had a game. We had a conference game last night, and long story short, we lost in overtime, and we lost after being up 10 with 3 minutes left in the game. So yeah, it still hurts. I don't really want to talk about it, but for y'all, I'll get it off, right? Uh, it was a good game, honestly. Again, we were up 10 with 3 minutes left, didn't close it out for multiple reasons. And end up going to overtime, having another 5 minutes to uh, redeem ourselves and just lost. And came down to the last shot, the buzzer. We missed. And yeah, we lost that game. Now, I brought that up because the emotions were extremely high. The crowd was into it. It was a big conference game that we needed to win. If we would have won that game, uh, pretty much would have guaranteed us a bye into the semifinals of the conference tournament. And we lost, right? So that part is disheartening. But then it's the way we lost, the way we were up and didn't close it out the way we should have. And to a team we know, no disrespect, we know we're better than, and it's always good games against that team, but it's just it hurts, right? But in that moment where it's like I'm extremely it's words can describe how I felt in that moment because I play a lot of basketball, a lot of basketball over the years, and I've been in a lot of overtime games. I can't really remember being in an overtime game that I lost. It just seems like every overtime game I've been in, I've won. And I lost, and it just felt weird. Like I didn't know how to really deal with that. And really, I just wanted to walk off the court and just not shake anybody's hand. I wanted to go and throw my jersey off, scream. I wanted to punch something. I wanted to kick the chair on the bench. I wanted to do all of that because I was so irritated. Um, and I was just appalled. Really, it kind of felt surreal. And I know this it's still the regular season, but it was just the way the game went. It was just crazy. And again, I still haven't watched the film back yet. I'll get a little bit more insight on the game then, but that was really tough. I don't remember the last time I felt that down after a game. It was a bunch of circumstances that attribute to that feeling, but my emotions were all over the place. And I brought that up. I want to paint the scenario because I did not want to shake anybody's hand. I didn't want to talk to anybody. And I bring this up because this is where I want to talk about emotions and our actions. We cannot let our emotions rule our actions. Um, if I let my emotions rule my actions, you know, who knows what I would have done? I could have just gone to the locker room, didn't shake anybody's hand. Even if I did shake somebody's hand, just put their hand up, and which people do that a lot when we win games. In every phase of basketball, I see people do that, where it's just not even look at you in the eye, which is a term of respect. And it's something I've always told myself. I don't want anybody to do that to me, so I want to do it to them. It doesn't matter how bad I played or how bad of a loss it was or how tough of a loss it was or how well we won or how minuscule the win was or minute it was or whatever it was. I I can't let the emotions of the game control how I'm going to react. And in that moment, I was hurt, but I made sure I told the guys in Pensacola that it was a great game. Um, it was good, hard fought, and that's all you can do. Appreciate them. They won their game. They fought hard. They came back, and they played a good game. Shout out to Paul, Paul on PCC. That's the team we played, and that's my guy. I rock with Paul, Liam, Caden, all those guys on that PCC team because they always show respect. And they always play hard. It's always a hard fought game. But yeah, shout out Paul because he said he listens to me every week. So I thought I would throw his name in there real quick. So shout out to Paul, man, and yeah, man, y'all get a little shout out. Good win, bro. Good win. But yeah, y'all. Anyway, like I was saying, as far as emotions and not letting it rule your actions, um, I had to make a concerning effort to make sure that I didn't let my emotions control me in that moment because I did not want to talk to anybody. I didn't want to dap anybody up. I didn't want to speak. But in that moment, I had to make sure and go out my way to make sure that, hey, y'all, I appreciate y'all. Good game. Hard fought, bro. Like, it is what it is. And I just wanted to make sure I did my due diligence with that. And once I got to the locker room, then I started moping. I didn't cry because it's not a playoff game or anything, but it was a hard game. And then I made sure once I got in the locker room, I didn't want to speak to anybody. It was quiet. Nobody was talking, but I made sure I told my team, like, look, we tricked this one off for sure. uh, but hey, it's more life. Shout out Spud, because Spud used to say that. That's kind of where I got that from. He would be trolling, but it's really true though. It's more life. Always. I can not once we would be trolling and saying that back in the day, a couple few years ago at Emmanuel, but it's for real though. It's more life. Always more life. So that's why I told the guys in the locker room, hey bro, we good. Like, we if we would have won this game, we would have been in a really great position, but we lost. So now we gotta move forward and keep it pushing. So just try not to let your emotions guide everything, because we're gonna have those emotions. We're human, but we can't let it directly affect our what how we move forward. And that's another thing too, just in life. Things might not be going as well. Stuff might be going not so well at home. Your wife might have done this to you, or your husband might have done this to you, or you might be beefing with one of your family members, or your siblings might be saying this to you, or whatever it is. We can't let it affect and rule all of our actions, especially when it's not even directly correlated. Now, what I told you guys, my emotions were directly correlated to the thing at hand. But sometimes we let the stuff that goes on behind closed doors or in another situation, and it bleeds into other situations, relationships, friendships, all of that. And we have to be cognizant of that as well, like knowing that we're gonna have these emotions. We're gonna be sad, mad, angry, irritated, ticked off, confused, all those things, frightening, all these things disheartening. Like we're gonna have all these different emotions that we have, but we have to be able to be aware of these emotions, internalize these emotions, and deal with them internally, right? Deal with them internally, but we can't always show it externally. Now, there's moments to show it externally with people who you are close to, with people your confidants, with people who you trust, and um you confide in and things like that. Somebody who you really respect, then you could show it externally. But a lot of times, these emotions, sometimes we just need to keep it to ourselves, and we can't let it directly affect our next move. And we have to have a clear mind, because our emotions aren't always clear. They're just the exact reaction to what happened. But just because you feel that way, that doesn't mean you need to immediately react on that way, on how you're feeling, if that makes sense. Another quote, again, I got this from Shannon Sharp. Again, I know he's not the originator of these quotes, but this is why I'll go through my notes sometimes when I'm going over what I'm about to talk about, and I'll find these little things that I wrote down on my phone. Anyway, he was talking on one of his shows. He said sometimes when emotion is high, logic is low, and that's the truth. I can tell you from firsthand. I know when my emotion was really high sometimes, the logic is very low sometimes. And it's not a direct correlation. That's why I said sometimes. Now, sometimes your emotion is high, you're very emotional, and you feel things deeply, but you're still logical about your actions. Those are people who are emotionally intelligent. A lot of people on earth are not emotionally intelligent. I can tell you that now. So sometimes people get really angry and they let it it's prioritized over the logic, the logical reasoning, the thing that makes the most sense. And they start doing things that, equate to nasty, terrible, disgusting work, where it's like, hey, bro, what are you doing? And that's when it gets dangerous. But yeah, I like that quote as well. Sometimes when emotion is high, logic is low. And again, it's not a perfect science to it. Sometimes emotion is high, your logic can also be high. It just depends on who you are. But I just like that quote because it is true a lot of times. When the emotion is high, sometimes the logic is low. So we need to, again, like make sure that we're being aware of our emotion, being aware of what the emotions are and how they make us feel and what they lead to, and just making sure that these emotions aren't directly correlated to our next move. Like we need to be able to sit in our emotions sometimes, but okay, this is how I feel. This is why I'm feeling this way. Okay, what's next? Instead of just, I'm mad, and then going forward. Like, you feel me? So that's what I would say. Now, y'all should know this verse by now, but if you guys don't, that's unfortunate. If you've been listening to this podcast, it would make sense for you guys to know the verse. But anyway, with that, giving you guys that example of the emotions and not letting it rule your actions. It reminds me of the verse who this whole podcast is based off upon, James 1:2-4. I'm going to read the NIV version, but the King James version is count all joy. That's in the King James version, but I'll read the NIV version for you guys. But it says, consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. But let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. Perseverance is also in KJV, is also uh, uses patience. So you can say it in the same way. Let patience um, have its perfect work. So, you can be mature and complete. So however you want to put it. But yeah, faith produces patience, perseverance, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, this verse, it means so much to me because where I'm at in my life and how I've grown, a lot of it has been through, if not all of it has been through trials and tribulations. From when I feel like I really, really started my faith journey in high school up until this point now where I'm about to graduate college. And a lot of these pivotal moments for me have been through trials and tribulations. When I look back, it's like, man, I had to go through this to get here. Um, I had to deal with this person to get to this. I had to go through this experience to get to this. And that's just how my life has been, and I appreciate it up to this point because I am who I am because of it. And it just makes me I try to apply it as much as possible because going back to the game from it was literally yesterday, it hurt. But what am I gonna do about it? The game's over. What am I gonna do about it? I can't go back and change the game. It's not 2K. I can't override the system. I can't close app in the middle of the game and restart the game. I can't. It doesn't work like that. Like it's real life. So once the game's over, it's over and we have to move forward. What can I learn from this game? What can I appreciate? What can I be optimistic about from this game? Okay. We're gonna look back at the film. We're gonna look at what we did well. We're gonna look at what we didn't do as well, and we're gonna be ready next time we play them. We're gonna look at uh what worked. We're gonna try to use it next time. Um, Now we were up 10 with 3 minutes left. Now we know not what to do when we're up 10 with 3 minutes left. Next time we're up that much. We know how to close it out next time. We know what not to do, right? Um, it's just all these things that you can count it all joy. You can look at it from an optimistic point of view when we're going through these times that are kind of hard or where they feel like, man, it's tough. Like this, everything about this is bad. It doesn't always have. It doesn't. It's not all of it is not bad. It's just again how you look at it, how you view it, your paradigm, and that's why I want to bring that verse up again. James 1:2-4. That was the NIV version, but obviously this whole podcast is based off the King James translation, the first part of it, but still the same thing. Uh, Kind of wrapping up a little bit, or the next point off of that is yeah, just fully believing that every situation and circumstance is a time to grow and evolve, and but most importantly, lean on God, right? So these times, and it doesn't have to be a bad time or trial and tribulation, but whenever this time is, whatever situation you're going through, and I'm not saying that somebody dying or somebody getting sick or somebody, uh, anything, getting in an accident, whatever that is. I'm not saying that that's a good situation. The situation is not good. Those situations are not good situations, right? But what God said He would do for us, He didn't say these things wouldn't happen. He said that He'll never leave us nor forsake us, and He'll be there for us in these situations. So when we're going through these times, we have to look at it like, okay, yes, I'm sad that this happened. How can I move forward in faith? And how do I move forward trusting God and knowing that He has it taken care of? And that's why I say fully believe that in every situation and circumstance that it's a time to grow and evolve. But again, most importantly, just lean on God and trust Him and ask Him for guidance and clearance and direction and leadership and protection, and all those type of things. So that's how I would segue into that from the verse and kind of examples I gave you with me. But wrapping up, how I always wrap up, if you guys listen to my podcast, I always like wrapping up about uh, or ending with the aspect of prayer. And because I think prayer is one of the most important things when it comes to your relationship with God, if not the most important thing. Um, just praying, it just helps a lot. So, um, and when it's no perfect science to praying, but praying is again I compared it to in the previous podcast. It's like you're talking to your friend. Praying with God, you have to look at it as talking to your friend. How do you get closer with your friend? Talking to your friend, going through experiences with your friend. Oh, guess what happened today? Blah, blah, blah. Oh, man, this person said this to me. What should I do? It's the same thing with praying with God. That's how we have to look at it. And obviously, a little bit more formal, but depending on who you are, it might not be as formal. You could just have a conversation with God because that's all it is. Anyway, with these two different topics that I talked about, first I was saying prioritizing truth over feelings, and then second, making sure your emotions aren't leading directly correlated to actions. Being able to sit in your emotions and being able to feel how you're feeling and then internalizing them and then moving forward instead of just feeling emotion and directly acting off that emotion. Um, so first, with the truth over feelings, I would say pray for pride to be eliminated when your friends are telling you the truth. Again, I sometimes deal with pride and being defensive when people who I know for a fact when a significant other might say something and um, you might take it to heart. I know for a fact my mom, she'll say stuff, and I know that you know she loves me overly, and um, sometimes she'll say stuff, and I take it to heart. I'm like, what you like? What are you trying to say? Are you saying this? And instead of listening to what she's saying and I already know where she's coming from with it, but sometimes you just hear it and you get automatically defensive, and that's something I'm trying to work on as well. And it only happens with the people I'm closest with because I cherish what they say. But you don't want that to be a thing that gets in between the relationship. So that's something that I know I'm going to pray for. But if you guys think you should pray for that as well, I think that would be good to pray for the pride and the defensiveness to be eliminated. When your friends, close ones, loved ones are telling you the truth and trying to help you, trying to build you up and not tear you down. Moving forward into the next topic we were talking about with emotions and not letting that directly affect your actions. Pray for a paradigm or a point of view or a vantage point of optimism when trials come. Kind of what I was alluding to earlier, or basically just uttering earlier. Uh, we have to, when we're going through these times, when we're going through situations that aren't the best or not favorable for us all the time, we have to be able to look at it us we have to look at it with a lens of, okay, how can I grow from this? How can I move forward from this? How can I grow from this? How can I evolve? How can I mature? How can I develop from this situation? And kind of what I was saying with even with the little game that it might not be as important to you guys, but it's important to me, and you can apply that in your everyday life. You just got maybe you just got let off from a job, or maybe you might be a teacher and your students aren't doing well in your class or something like that. Okay, how can I be a better teacher for them? How can I move forward with that? Or whatever it is, just um whatever situation is, oh, my marriage isn't going as well. My wife keeps arguing with me, or my husband, or vice versa, whatever. How can I take this situation and be better and make this situation better for the both of us? Please bless me to be able to see the good and the bad, and be able to correct my mistakes and all of that. So I think just praying for those things and asking God for direction is pivotal to growing in these situations and actually building faith and building trust and building patience. So that's what I would say, y'all. Again, I told you it'll be a little bit shorter. I guess it wasn't as short as I thought it was gonna be, but yeah, I want to talk about those couple things because those things were pretty recent for me, and I thought it would be good topics to talk about. And yeah, you guys let me know what you guys think. Comment, like, comment, subscribe. Just let me know. Follow the podcast pages again. Follow the Instagram. All of the links are in that bio. The YouTube, both for the Apple and Spotify podcast pages. The TikTok that I don't even use. All those things are on there. So yeah, y'all comment under the page and let me know what you guys think, and let me know what you guys want to hear and listen to. Let me know your guys' experiences and what you guys have been through. But yeah, I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for listening, man. And hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are staying safe again in this weather that's been all over the place. I guess it seems like in the South. And but yeah, I appreciate y'all. Again, thank you for listening. Stay blessed, stay prayed up, keep God first. Love, attitude, gratitude, and I'm out. Peace.